So in addition to investing in residential property, there's all kinds of types of real estate. And one of the ones that's performed real well is industrial property. And I've in the past talked about a REIT I'm involved with, invest in industrial properties in Southern California. I'm really excited though today to interview and share with you a investor who invests in industrial property in Chicago, Joel Friedland and his company, Brit Properties. Joel, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Bill. It is great to see you. Finally.
So tell us about your thesis. Why should one consider, of all places in America, to invest in Chicago, and of all types of investments, why industrial property in Chicago?
Well, so there are a number of industrial markets in the United States that are large, and one of them is your market, the Inland Empire and the LA area, the tri-state area in New York and Chicago. Those are the three biggest industrial markets, literally with over 1 billion square feet of industrial. You need to be in a big market if you invest in industrial, because small markets only have hundreds of millions of square feet, and there's not enough tenants to fill a vacant building if there's a vacancy that comes up. And that's our biggest problem, is vacancy. Chicago may be the second or third largest market, but it's also the market where the cap rates are the highest and the investment cost per square foot of industrial is the lowest.
Wow.
On the coasts, it's far more expensive, usually 50% more across the board per square foot. And our cap rates are running about 8. And the cap rates in your area and out east are running about 6.5 or 7, which is why so many major institutions love the Chicago industrial market. They're clamoring to get in because the returns are better and the market's huge. We have 1.5 billion square feet and we've got 16,000 industrial buildings. So the velocity of deals is fantastic, and that's why people want to invest in it.
And that's because the opposite of Chicago, New York and LA are kind of ports of entry or exit on either coast. Chicago is more of a distribution center. Is that really what the function Chicago plays for this, being in the middle of the country? Or what is it that's attractive about Chicago as an industrial market?
Well, it is a big distribution hub, but it's also a gigantic manufacturing hub. Mm. And many of our tenants and building owners here manufacture products. Every product that you can think of in the world, maybe except for agriculture that goes straight from the farm to the table, everything's made in an industrial building around the world and always has been. For example, food. The largest food companies have food manufacturing plants, many of them here in Chicago, because our natural water is unlimited from Lake Michigan, which is a huge advantage compared to some of the Western states. The Great Lakes provide 20% of the fresh water to the world, and food companies have to have it. But also rail lines and trucking lines, which are the tollways, converge right here in Chicago. So it's a hub for people who are interested in having a company where they have access to transportation. That's the most important element of industrial.
Yeah, same Los Angeles, right? The industrial properties are all located on rail spurs or ports, from Los Angeles and Long Beach, and then it's on its way in from somewhere or going out somewhere. But it's all about the location of transportation. So, talk about what's a typical product that you're offering. I know you have some current offerings, but kind of in general, what kind of investment opportunity you typically work with that you offer to investors?
Yeah, mainly we are Class B. There's Class A, which are the gigantic brand new Amazon distribution centers. And many millions of square feet of that are built a year and filled up a year all around the country. You see them on the side of the tollway anywhere you drive. You see the line of truck docks. You see offices on each end of the building. And these are usually precast or tilt-up concrete. We don't do that. That's for the institutions, because those deals cost $50 million, $100 million. we're just a little syndicator. We have a boutique operation where we invest in small buildings under 30,000 square feet primarily that are occupied. This is going to sound crazy, almost all by manufacturing companies, international companies, national companies, and local companies. And what we love about it is they're small deals. They run from $2 to $3 million for acquisitions. And then the buildings themselves are so desirable that it's really easy to sell them, because our vacancy rate for industrial properties is 0. There's no, I'm talking about for sale, only for sale. For lease, the vacancy rate is 3.5%. So we buy these freestanding buildings that are leased to manufacturing companies, and we have such an incredible amount of activity whenever one comes on the market, and we keep them filled. But even better, tenants stay. Our average tenant has stayed in our buildings for 18 years.
Wow.
And the rent goes up every year, and they're net leased, which means that the tenant pays the taxes, insurance, maintenance, and utilities.
Wow. Now, these, when you say a syndicate, so you're looking for investors who want to participate in these investments with you as a passive investor, where they're a limited partner and you guys are the general partner. And so that, and currently, I think you mentioned your current offerings are available only for accredited investors.
Correct.
Okay.
We do something called 506C offerings.
Okay.
And because of the securities laws, a person has to have a minimum net worth of $1 million, excluding their home.
Got it.
So most of our investors are pretty well financially comfortable, I would say, because if you're going to put $50,000 in a deal, it should never be more than about 1 or 2% of your total net worth, and so maybe 3% on at the most. So I don't want somebody who's got $700,000 of investments to put $50,000 or even $25,000 in one of my deals. It's just too risky for them. But someone who's got a net worth of 3 or 4 million, putting $50,000 or $100,000 in is fine for them.
Got it. And if somebody's interested in looking into these investments with you, getting involved, the best way to get in touch would be BritProperties.com on the website.
Brit Properties with 1 T.
Got it. And so just to kind of real quick to kind of show you the website, BritProperties.com, obviously contact information and some highlights of their company, where they've been featured. But if you scroll down, you see a couple of the investments they've done, a little more about the company. And then if you go to their offerings online, you get the details on, looks like 2 of their current offerings. So you just click on the offering and boom, there's the documents on the website. So feel free to do that. And then you can contact them for information, appropriate disclosures and such. And we want to do everything properly. But again, this is exclusively going to be industrial properties in the Chicago land market, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Fantastic. Well, Joel, thanks for sharing that with us today. I really appreciate your time and look forward to continuing our discussions.
Thanks, Bill.